Welcome on in. We're about to interview Yael. Hey. Hi. Welcome to the stream. So, okay, clearly our theme today is journey. So I kind of wanted to talk to you about, like, one, how did we meet? And two, how did you get started on your stream journey?
So I think it was around 2016. I just moved to New York at 2015, October 2015. I tried to meet new people and meet new friends, and my brother was like, "Go play Magic to meet new friends." Yes. And somehow I met a person at the local game store, which is not with us in our group anymore, but he is the one who introduced me to all of you guys. And I joined what is now known as the MTA.
Yes.
You guys brought me into Commander. And if you remember my first few decks, it wasn't great. It was pretty awful.
None of ours weren't either, so like no judgment.
But it was great, and you guys made me feel so welcome in New York, and like having a group that we met pretty often, and it was something so consistent for me to have, and in such a it was amazing. And every time I will visit New York, we'll definitely hang out. And we did it last time. I was there in December, and it was so much fun.
Yeah,
we recorded something special that you guys will see soon on YouTube at some point.
It is still being edited, so
it's a lot of editing. It's a big project.
Girl,
there's that going on.
Yeah,
and then we just hanged out and we had coffee, and it was so much fun just to hang out with you guys after so long. We had Thai food after so long that we didn't see each other physically, and the support of COVID and playing virtually for so long every week. I was living alone, like from the beginning of COVID, and like just having that weekly meeting at Saturday was a lifesaver, and was so great for me, and I know other people in our group.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it at the top of the stream, but like that's one of the things that stayed consistent throughout all the massive change that happened in my life in COVID was that we all sat down and we said, look, we play Magic every Saturday anyway at 12 o'clock. Can we at least keep doing that, please? Because otherwise we're all going to go absolutely crazy. And I remember early on, before Spell Table had been existed, we would join a Zoom call.
Yes.
And we would roll dice to figure out the turn order, and then we would all have to leave the Zoom call and rejoin in a certain order so that we made sure all of our cameras were in the right order. It was so stupid. But like
I had like books laying up on my table to try to figure out the setup. And like there's like
but like you do that because you gotta make it work. Like you gotta community, connection, collaboration, right? Like communication, all these things are so important. And I think it's crazy to think about the fact that like the people who play Magic on that Saturday stream are now literally all across the world. Like there's a few of us that are still here in New York. You're in Israel. Nick's on a fucking boat somewhere. I don't know where he is. But like, and that's the crazy thing about how we've all been able to stay connected and about this platform, and is that like we're all literally across the fucking world, and yet here we are. So I think that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and bringing it back to Twitch and how we started here, I think it was around December, January of 2020, right? That or 2021, December, January 2021, deep into the pandemic. I think it kind of simultaneously came from us talking about Twitch, but also my brother was like, why won't you start just streaming on Twitch? Like do something fun, like something gaming related, something fun. My master's degrees is in games for learning. So a lot of my master's degrees was about playing games and analyzing them and play testing and doing research related to games. And I always wanted to be part of the gaming community, but I've never felt like I'm not a classic gamer. I've jumped from a Game Boy Color to a Switch, and everything in between is missing. And I'm more of a like I'm more of I played a lot of board games. I played D&D, I play Magic. So I consider myself a gamer, but not necessarily Twitch type gamer.
Right.
And I feel like that it kind of fell on me specifically when I played Ori in the Blind Forest. Because Ori in the Blind Forest is very mechanically tasking.
Yes.
And my experience with gaming, specifically like video gaming, is Pokemon, mostly Pokemon, and like very, very light-hearted games that you just travel around and like or very aggressively smashing buttons with Smash Bros. And like that's my gaming experience when it comes to video games. And finding my niche, finding what I want to stream was very difficult. But I kind of bounced around. Back to the beginning, we were talking. You and I were talking about Twitch, and I think you jumping in and starting streaming is what made me say, okay, I can do this. I'm just gonna start with whatever I had. I had a MacBook from 2013.
Oh my God.
I used the camera from the MacBook. I started with Pokemon Pinball and stuff that I used the emulator for. Like I used my emulator on the MacBook to play, and it was like so many things of that type of games that I started. A little bit of Magic Arena because that's what I had. That's what was available on my Mac.
Yeah.
And then I got the capture card and connected the Switch that I had for a few years and only played 5 hours of Breath of the Wild's Cooking in Plateau. And, and like I didn't play on my Switch until I started streaming.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel guilty when I game without being on stream. It kind of like I'm not productive in my life. I'm not doing something productive with my time, and it's like it's been a journey for me. And I'm trying to play off stream as well. I put aside Pokemon Arceus since the day it came out. I played 6 hours in that day. You know, we talked about it, how difficult it is to play something on the day it comes out, especially such a popular game like Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
And that made me put it aside, and I have not touched it since. And I know people are through with it completely. I haven't been able to get back into it because I wanted to put it for myself, but I just cannot find my time to just sit with myself and play. And and I'm still working on that. But like you are part of the reason why I jumped in. You starting streaming. We started streaming, give or take the same time. And then you were much more serious about getting affiliate. Yeah. getting affiliate status and doing things and improving. And I just kind of jumped in with not a lot of knowledge. I didn't know what's going on. We met a lot of friends on the way with Bruno from
yes.
Wow, the gym. Like Bruno and all the
Bruno's like one of the first people who found me.
Yes.
Bruno helped me. Bruno made the Stinger transition. And
oh, that's right.
Yeah, like I reached out to him on Fiverr and I was like looking for a Stinger transition. And then he was like, "Oh, I stream on Twitch anyway." And I think it was a few months ago. I think Bruno was
didn't know this story.
Yeah, it was like Bruno was in my chat and he was like, "I can't believe you still use that Stinger transition." I was like, "Bitch, of course I do. You made it for me. Like it's part of the brand." Like
no, that's awesome.
Yeah. And
so it started with Bruno, and then we met the ninja, and then like it just started rolling. And even though I was jealous of you for getting affiliate 2 months before me,
please,
with love, I feel like I still try to not I fight myself not to look at how other people are getting better and like what's going on with other streamers that started a year ago, and try not to compare myself. And also like something I noticed is that I don't think I like bring it like turn it on when I go on stream as much as other streamers. Like other streamers bring up the hype and like the excitement, and I don't know if I can do that. And I'm like very conscious of it for the last few weeks. I've been thinking about it a lot.
So that's the beauty of this entire situation, is that like all the things that I think are like for you that are looked at as like, oh, well, I went from a Game Boy Color to a Switch, and oh, it's, this and that. Like, to me, those are the things that make you uniquely you in my eyes, right? Like,
Thank you.
and I think that's the beauty of the individuality part, is that, like, yeah, like Dancing Ninja said, you play Pokemon Pinball. I have never seen another fucking person on this platform. Like, that kind of stuff to me, I think is the stuff that is super unique when I think about like you. And the turning it on thing, like I have, you're welcome. I have like, I know. All right. The things that like turning it on, right? I am recently learning, and I think we had this, we had a conversation in Discord voice chat about vulnerability, because I was starting to realize that like there's a version of me that is like sort of a put on, right? Like as far as like energy, I think if people meet me in real life, I do talk like this. I am very energetic I can
attest.
Yeah, I do a lot of hand gestures that are very like energetic. But at the same time, I do recognize that there's a part of me that gets turned on when I go live. And I identify as an extroverted introvert. I can walk into a party and say I'm on, but I would rather choose to just be like home on my couch,
I heard something really interesting about that. It's like the introvert and extrovert, from what someone told me and really connected with me, is that it's not about being friendly or not. It's about how do you get your energy. So I can be I can be with people. I can be very part of the party and be very friendly. But the quiet moments are where I get my energy back, and where I need my personal space, maybe because I've been living alone for so long, but I just need to be with myself, to watch some YouTube, to like just be in my corner, to get recharged.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's beautiful that you understand that. Like we have to know how we recharge as streamers. And like for me, I found myself not being as vulnerable as I could be. And I've really started to incorporate that into the stream a little bit more, that like, look, I enjoy being entertaining. I enjoy having a laugh. I enjoy like all of the stuff that comes with this process. And I've been transparent about my journey with addiction and why it got me onto this platform and why I continue to use it as a healthy behavior. But at the same time, there's a level of humanness that I'm missing. And I think that that's really, really, really important, So to me, coming on and not having a hype, not having that energy is something that I don't judge. Like I watch your stream because it's like, it's low key. Like, because you're always live when I'm at work, and I'll just put you on I'll put you on in the background, and I'm like, this bitch is low key. I'm gonna be able to like watch her and still be able to like work on a spreadsheet. Like, I don't need someone screaming at me while I'm trying to like, What's the there's always that. You're welcome. Bax and I were joking at work about the like the YouTuber voice where it's like, what's up everybody? It's your boy. Like
that's not me.
Yael is lo-fi, 100% Mark.
And it's funny because I think when you meet me in person, but you guys, that's what I understand from my friends, is that I am very high energy and low, like high voice, like I'm very loud. I'm very like present. Like people know that I'm there. It's not, but somehow when I'm sitting in front of the camera and just trying to be me and play games, it kind of goes down, and I just kind of talk about my day and think out loud and talk about what I'm doing in the game. And that's kind of like very low. Yeah. And I don't play any scary games because I cannot. I will not be able to.
Chat made me play BioShock, and that was the end of it. I was like, that shit terrified me.
Like, I think the most hype moments I had is that the two times in the Blind Forest that it took me over 3 hours to get through a part. I was like, oh my God, it finally happened. I can't believe it. I was like the one clip that you guys saw, it was like, because I've never played games that are so tasking, it was like so high for me. It's like And also, I got frustrated. People can attest if they saw some part of the 3 hours or 4 hours that it took me to do one part of Ori and the Blind Forest. I got so frustrated that I had to move into just chatting to just step away from the game and put it aside. It's really made me think of what do I want to stream? What do I want to do? And that's how, when I got back into my schedule after coming back from the States, when I took a break from regular streaming, I was off for like 2 weeks because of the changes and everything. And when I got back to Israel, I decided to stop playing 4 games at a time and focus on 2 and just do the Nuzlocke plus 1. So I started with finishing Child of Light. Now we're finishing Harry Potter in the Lego game. And then I need to figure out if I'm going back to Uri now or I'm doing one more thing for myself and then going back to Uri, because I don't feel ready for that game in some sense.
And that's perfectly okay to like admit that like I'm not ready to do this or finish this thing yet. Like it's like there's a balance between what the community wants to see and what you want to do, you know?
Yes.
And I think like that's where I like to open things up to my community about like, what do y'all want me to play? What do you want me to like, what do you want to watch? Right. And then at the same time, knowing that like, well, yes, okay, I'll do that. But also I kind of want to do this. Like, you know?
I think most of the games I played on my channel were for me. Like Pokemon Pinball took me back. I don't know if you can see it, but the Game Boy Color over there, the pink one, has Pokemon Pinball right inside.
That's amazing.
And I found it a few years ago. And I was like, wait, maybe now you guys can see it. And I found it a few years ago, and I was like, it took me back to a time that I played Pokemon on this tiny screen with like nothing, no color. And it was like the OG Pokemon games. And the Nuzlocke is just a fun challenge. It, again, takes me back to my time with Pokemon. So I'm really trying to figure out like what's next. There are some games that I'm curious about. And now also that I have an Xbox and I just got a Game Pass a couple of days
she's
ago.
Upgrading, is she? Okay.
So there's a lot open to me now, but I do need to kind of take my baby steps into it and not jump back into Ori and the Blind Forest and how tasking that game is of me emotionally and physically. Like I'm not used to having a pro controller in my hand and trying to press 3 buttons at the same time, like figuring it out.
Well, and it's learning what you want to play too. Like I know from being your friend and from watching your journey that like you don't love open world games. And that's perfectly okay. Like, no tea, no shade. Yael doesn't enjoy wandering around a sandbox, like making foraging for her supplies. Like, because she tried Breath of the Wild, she tried Arceus, and like, I get it.
I think Breath of the Wild is more of like, I need to get back into it, but like something about the dungeons kind of made me frightened.
Oh, the shrines,
like,
yeah,
the shrines. I don't even know the name because I just wandered around Plateau and foraged and cooked for 5 hours. And I enjoyed it. But like...
Come on, Master Chef!
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think something about the shrines kind of scared me because as I was saying with Uri, I was not prepared. Like I didn't play those type of games. So I think Arceus is going to prepare me for Breath of the Wild. So I'm going to play a little bit of that and get used to like the openness and like the kind of wandering and sandboxy kind of games, and maybe get back into Breath of the Wild. I also thought of playing Ocarina of Time and start from there. Start Zelda from the beginning.
Ocarina is a beautiful. I mean, from the beginning is the loose translation. Yes, we're not going to unpack it. I also agree though that like one of the things that I'm big on for streaming is that I don't think that it is. This is a attention-based economy. I've said it before. This is a competitive space. To stream the same thing, for me personally, you do whatever you want, chat. I love you all. Do whatever you want in your streams. Live your life, right? For me, I don't feel the need. I don't want to or understand why I have to compete with every other streamer playing when Sword and Shield dropped, when Arceus dropped, when Elden Ring dropped, when
oh my God.
And I here's the thing, I learned this because of Skyward Sword. Like I was so pumped to play Skyward Sword. I had never played it before. And I realized that like, oh, I'm moving at a slower pace than everyone else because I choose to move at a slower pace when I play a game. I want to fucking absorb it. Let me be a sponge.
Yes.
And other people had beat the game in like a weekend. And I
Yes.
just I saw those views drop and drop and drop and drop and drop. And I was like, okay, it's too late. Like, it's too late to finish Skyward Sword because you missed the bandwagon. And I said, you know what? Maybe that's just not for me. Like, I'm playing Arceus, what y'all can like, whatever
you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever it is. I'm playing that on my own time. And listen, I'm absolutely loving it because I get to choose to be immersed in my own world on my own time. And listen, I'm like, I just got the second warden, whatever. I'm super far behind.
Still in my first star, so
yeah, like
no bad feelings.
No judgment at all.
But
no
judgment.
I completely understand the like trying to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And recognizing that like it may not be what everyone else is doing, and that's totally okay.
Truth. Completely. I want to add something to the conversation you had with, I think it was Ginny about the pie and having pies.
Yeah, making more pies, y'all. I'm over
making
here.
more pies.
Mrs. Lovett.
Like you were saying that you are getting more involved in partner stream. Like you watch a lot of partners and stuff like that. And I found that I'm actually more engaged and I enjoy more the communities of streamers who have a couple of thousands followers, or like 3,000 tops, and like they're still very engaged. And from there, I also discovered that there are some streamers that will let you talk about your stream. Not necessarily, you don't have like don't be mean about it and post like you're going live in 5 minutes and like stuff like that. Like you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be like, wait, there was a train.
No, I'm tooting my own horn in somebody else's stream. That's the joke.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be the person who just says, I'm going live and stuff like that. Yeah. But I found streamers like Shady Joker that just followed you, and I brought the party here.
Shout out Shady Joker.
Shout out Shady Joker, which is amazing, and you guys should check him out. But Shady Joker and also Tegan's and like other streamers that don't mind if you come and celebrate your wins. Like Tegan gave me a shout out and told me that congratulations for my 200 followers on her stream, and she's a partner. And I was like, oh my God, she actually followed the Twitter that I posted. And like, it was like great moments like that. And having those type of streamers, I appreciate them that they share the pie. They love telling other people, like, that's what you don't know this yet, but Shady actually streamed your stream on his stream for like 5 minutes. What? When I told him that you have a year celebration, and that's why everybody was here.
What?
Yes.
Shady! Thank you. I had no idea you did that. Oh my God.
So I was looking at his stream and I was like, yeah, friend is celebrating a year, so I'm looking here, but just so you know. And he was like, oh, really? Give me his link. And everybody just showed up. So I was so happy because there was all the people that I got to know in Shady's stream. So it was a lot of fun to do that. And I was like so surprised. I was surprised that they came. So it was great.
Thank you for doing that, Yael. I really appreciate it. Go Suru. Hi,
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Now you raised the bar. I have no idea what I'm doing in 2 months for my year celebration.
You don't have to do anything. There's no obligation here. We're time. I'm super excited to see what you do. Thank you, Yael, for being a very close friend.
Thank you.
And
it is midnight.
It is midnight.
Like 30 seconds.
Yes. So Monday. I'll see you next Saturday at Magic. And thank you for being here from the future.
I want to wish you such an amazing second year. And I know you're going to do it. And every time I'm on your stream, I enjoy myself. And it's not just because you're a personal friend and that I know you personally. It's because you are energetic and you're bright and you bring a lot of light to your stream, and I hope you enjoy it as well, and not just do it for the streams, but also because you enjoy it.
I thank you. I do it because I enjoy it, but I appreciate the kind words. Okay, have a good night. I love you. Get some sleep. Bye.